And another thing, I'm a quarter zip dude now. Simple. I don't do that Nike tech stuff which y'all little boys do. I can't do that. I'm elegant. I'm classy. For me, like you could take me somewhere. I look presentable.
Everyone thinks young men are moving on from the Nike tech trend because it's going out of style. While there may be some truth to that, there's a bit more happening underneath this whole thing. What's really going on is saying a lot more about masculinity, money, and where these young men think their future is headed. Now, fashion always changes. This isn't some kind of random shift. The Nike tech didn't disappear. It's still everywhere. Now, what did change is the environment that young men are trying to move through and the environment that they're trying to move towards. And in those spaces, the quarter zip is a better option than the tracksuit. This is not a trend, and I don't think it's a status symbol either. It's more of a signal and an evolution. This isn't new. We've actually seen it before with the Canada Goose and Montclair puffers, the Adidas tracksuits and the Roadman look. But also we've seen it with something that you've definitely seen it before, that Supreme box logo trend. Now these function as uniforms, not to signal creativity. They're about belonging. It tells people I'm a part of this group and I know the code. And right now, the quarter zip is the new code. On the surface, it looks like these young men simply want something new. But what it shows is that these men are moving into different environments that have different expectations of them. In addition to that, these young men do actually want things for themselves. They want jobs, they want stability, they want access. And most importantly, for me personally, I think they want respect. And in all honesty, the Nike techs don't actually perform the way that they want it to perform. It doesn't work in every room. And in all honesty, my lights! It's just been 9 minutes. Oh, are you serious? Think about it this way. If you were a recruiter and you had to choose between two equally qualified candidates, their presentation matters. And this isn't a hypothetical. Hiring managers have openly talked about how candidates are poorly prepared to present themselves in an interview. Some look like they just rolled out of bed. Others, they look like some random person on the street, not somebody that's actually looking for a job, trying to move up in corporate. Now, the quarter zip doesn't guarantee success, but it does remove some of that friction, giving you a better chance of getting the job. Now, this is a personal story of mine. It actually gives more context to this. Now, take this with a grain of salt, obviously. But while interviewing for jobs, I actually had one specific interview that was pretty interesting. I applied and I spoke to the recruiter. So I had one screening with the recruiter. At that point, he said that he would move me along to meet the team. I was quite excited. I was prepared and ready to go. The second interview, where I was supposed to actually meet the team, I didn't meet the team. I met the interviewer again, the recruiter. At that point, I was kind of confused, but he was ready and willing to share his opinions. I won't name the company, I won't name the person, but I will share what happened. I will share what he said. He told me basically that he's been burned multiple times by candidates who have poorly represented themselves to the rest of the team. I inquired, what exactly do you mean by that? And he explained he's had multiple people, both men and women, who appeared to interviews in attire that wasn't really fit for an interview. And this happened so much that he had to add another screening just to ensure that whoever it is that he's sending to the team presents themselves well. Think about that. Recruiters have been burned so many times by candidates that they have to implement another screening just to ensure that you can present yourself in a corporate way. I understand that people are free to, wear whatever they want, but you're playing the corporate game now, buddy. Sorry to tell you. Now, the quarter zip says something. It doesn't say that you're an outsider or a rebel. It says you belong here. And that's the difference. This shift isn't all upside. There are some trade-offs that you need to contend with. One of which being your street cred. Let's rip the band-aid off. The quarter zip doesn't make you look dangerous anymore or tough. But that's actually not what these young men are going for. What they're trying to portray themselves as has changed. As with them, they're growing individuals and they're growing into a different version of themselves. Now, some people would see this as a rejection of blackness or black culture. And that's kind of understandable because the Nike tech or the tracksuit is actually really intertwined into black culture. But I think that assessment kind of misses the point. Black men are moving more into corporate spaces. And making that move doesn't make them less black. They're still black. They're still a part of black culture. They still have interests in black culture. What they have to do now, though, is to learn a new code. I don't want it to seem all bad, so there is one upside that I really want to bring up. It kind of warms my heart. And that is the fact that you have men who are now happily embracing they're willing to allow these young men into these spaces. And what they're doing is they're making videos providing tips for these young men. They're also giving them advice as to where to go to get good quality quarter zips, but also giving them advice on how to style it. To me, that's really cool. Seeing men help men, it's healthy. What am I going to do? Complain about that? No, it's great to see people help each other. Now let's talk about the quarter zip itself, because honestly, it's a great choice. It's warm and adjustable. It's casual but professional at the same time. It has this way of looking relaxed but business casual at the same time. It strikes a good balance. So visually, it brings more attention to your face. It's actually quite slimming, oddly enough. And it's got a good silhouette on it. So overall, you're looking good wearing a quarter zip. But finally, when it comes to the quarter zip, I would say it says employment. It says, I got my shit together. It says, I'm going places. And I think maybe that's why the quarter zip is such an appealing option. Fashion changes because people change. And the quarter zip isn't just about the clothes or trends. It's about where these young men think their future is headed. You can wear whatever you want. Just understand what it's saying about you.